Anyway, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. For those of you that are new, we welcome you here and are certainly excited to have you as part of our program through the SNAP program, which is our federal grants through the USDA. So we're excited that you're here. We want to share some more information. For those of you that watched last week, does anybody have any questions? Does anybody have any concerns? Or how about the goal sheet? Does anybody have any ideas? How did those goals work for you? I know it was kind of hard to tack that up and make sure we had all the information we needed to, but I'm hoping that you guys really were able to utilize that and work that through really well. So just a couple things. We'll do some discussion today, so I really would encourage you guys to jump in, give me all of your input, give me your ideas, your thoughts. If you got any questions, by all means, raise your hand, unmute yourself. But we want you to be able to feel comfortable enough to give us whatever input you have, ask any questions, and for that we call that voice by choice. So we want to be able to make sure that you can share with what information that you need, or any questions. And if I don't have the answers, you guys, I will be more than happy to research it and get those answers and get back with you through a contact information. So today's lesson, we're going to talk about community food assistance programs within our area. And I don't know how many of the programs that you all know that are available in your area. If anybody's got any ideas, how about you shoot them in the chat box, or just unmute yourself and let me know. What kind of programs or organizations, let's do it in two parts. What kind of programs or organizations would you go to get some assistance with a food program? Anybody got any idea? How about food pantries? We got food pantries. How about churches? Those are kind of hard to see, aren't they? Sorry, guys. How about your public health department? How about IDPH? Oops, just dropped that one. How about the health department? Can we get resources from them? Absolutely. Those provide resources maybe that we don't necessarily know that are out there. Another one is the schools. How about schools? What kind of programs does the schools offer? Schools offer us free and reduced lunches for low-income eligible families. And that could be breakfast or lunch. Could be one or the other, it could be both. So there utilizes a source to help supplement the food budget at home through the school program. Churches and your food pantries, I know they work on donations and or the food banks to help supply them. They have a lot of resources as well that could get us some food. Does anybody have any others? Anybody know of anything else? What about community centers? I know here we have Northeast Community Fund. We have, let's see, I'm trying to think. There's a couple others too. I've totally lost my mind there for a second. But we have food pantries and community centers that are very open to helping and are eager to help. Maybe their supply isn't quite as user-friendly as maybe what you would want. Maybe the options aren't quite as good, but to supplement your income, to supplement your food budget at home would certainly be an option for you to go to. The other thing that I think that some of us forget sometimes is, and I'm going to go off the beaten path just a little bit, but on a side note, food assistance programs are amazing to have there, and they're great. But some of these places also provide additional kind of resources. So energy for utility bills, maybe for rent assistance, food or for clothing. When it gets to school time, I know some of them provide school supplies and stuff. So, those are kind of great ideas to keep in the, on the back burner, so to speak, that they might be options that you or somebody who might need those resources, that they're readily available for you. So let's talk about, I'm going to give you just a little bit of history about these programs, as much as I can share with you as far as the details that I know. And like I said, I don't claim to know everything, but the USDA, which is the United States Department of Agriculture, which is a federal funded grant, which is where the SNAP is based out of. And that grant is federally funded and houses the SNAP program. SNAP stands for Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. And within that program, there are a couple different areas. So we already talked about the National School Lunch Program, which includes both breakfast and lunch. So you can get free and reduced meals that way through the programming. And how that program works is it is income eligible. So, when you go to sign up, there's an income eligible sheet. So it's based on your income. And usually they base it on like within the last 30 days of your income. So if you're going to go sign up for any of those programs, make sure you have your income eligibility or your income, check stubs or whatever you have for income. Make sure you take that with you. And it's based on a couple different areas. So you can go like for 165% of poverty level on up to like 200%. But it's based on a family units is what they call it. So how many are in your family and then what your gross income is to where you're at. So if you have a family of 4, if you make around $3,600 for the month or less, you're going to be eligible for the SNAP benefits. Okay, and that's at 160%, 65% of the poverty. And there's other guidelines that go within those, how that is all figured. So that's something that you would go and sit down with, someone at either, and that's, where can we go to get that information? So you can go to your Illinois Department of Public Health in your area. So like in Macon County, you would go to the Macon County Health Department. You can sign up there. There are ways that you can get those programs. Your school districts, as far as your school, your reduced and free lunches and breakfast, they can sign you up through the school district there to get you signed up for that program. So that is a good way to go. Along with the school programs is just your link card, which is, again, through the Illinois Department of Public Health. So you can go to your local health department and get that filled out. But, this is what replaced the food stamps. So this is the link card. And again, based on income, then you will get a certain cash allowance for the number of people that you have in your family that you can utilize for your month of groceries budgeted for your budget. Another program is a food service program. Some of your schools offer this program as well to get food into the hands of the kids. I know the Park District here in Decatur did it a couple years ago, where they provided a lunch for low-income kids, families, so that they could they would set designated areas, and most generally we did it in a park. So it lasted maybe about an hour. You'd come in, get your meal. The kids would have some activity, some physical activity or a nutrition kind of activity lesson at that time, and then get your free lunch, and you can either sit there and eat it or take it with you. So the summer program. They also have a child and adult care food program. sometimes they'll do a reimbursement kind of program. They'll allot you so much, like for a caregiver. If, grandma or grandpa or aunt and uncle are taking care of children, then you have an option of having a little bit of reimbursement there for the expense of taking care of another loved one. IDH is the Illinois Department of Human Services, and that's state funded. You can sign up for SNAP through your Department of Public Health, Department of Human Services. They can get you signed up. They can give you information. They can also offer different kinds of programs that are out there. How many of you know what WIC is? WIC is Women, Infant, and Children. So those babies that need formula, as they get a little older, they allow juices and those kinds of things. So all of those are through the Women and Infant and Children program. Tanf is another program that's out there for temporary assistance for needy families. So again, not only is it food, but there's emergency housing, emergency utilities. If it's a rough situation and something happened, you can get emergency funding to help get you through this little bump. There's also the healthcare program. So those are some of the options that you have as far as additional, besides just offering them the food. But what can we do within our own area to help supplement your food program or your food budget? So we talked about going to food pantries. We talked about going to churches, signing up for the SNAP benefits, the WIC program, utilizing your community services, your community places. Education is a really good thing. And as you guys have all known and learned as you've watched this series of Healthy Sense, that's what we've tried to do, is educate and help the adults in the aspect of this program to have a better idea or more ways to save on their budgeting, how to plan a meal, preparations of meals, and how to make that dollar stretch a little bit farther. And if you remember, we talked about, we did container gardening, which was really cool. We can grow stuff at home. The other things we did, we talked about buying in season. So if we're going to buy fruits and vegetables, we're going to buy them in season because they're going to be a little cheaper, instead of buying strawberries now when they're really not in season right now. So they're going to be a little pricier. So to try and plan your budget accordingly, because it kind of helps. So the big thing was to try and make sure that we were able to offer as many helpful and useful hints. And that's why I kind of challenged you guys to do the take-home tips and talk about them and put them up on your refrigerator and, kind of walk through those and see if there's some habits or some things that you'd like to change that maybe might be a good resource for you with those kind of tips. Sometimes, they say it takes like 7 days in a row to change a habit. And so sometimes a gentle reminder on the refrigerator or the cabinet might be, beneficial. So let me see, what other places might there be a resource for you to go and get additional food supplements? Has anybody got any other ideas that we haven't discussed at this time? Some of your places will allow just talking with some of them around the area. Some of them offer, once a month you can pick up food sources. Some of them once every couple months. Some of them are weekly. It just kind of depends on, where you're at and what their availability is. So that's something you kind of want to reach out and, ask some questions and know what you're going to get when you get in there. I do want to offer, like we've talked about before, the Eat, Move, Save website. Sometimes when you go to these pantries and stuff, you might get something that you're not really familiar with, or you're not really sure how to prepare. Go to that Eat, Move, Save website and type in what you got. Maybe you got chicken. And I know we love chicken at our house, but there's a search engine in there that if you go in and type in chicken, it will give you recipes that has chicken in it. So we'll give you options to prepare, and we'll give you hints and ideas on how to properly prepare it, give you recipes, extra ingredients, gives you all kinds of ideas. And it's that You Move Save has got some really, really good ideas in there. So jump on there and look around at that. So there's always additional resources, and don't be afraid that if you get something within your food pantries that you're not 100% sure, ask them there at the food pantries. If I do an Eat, Move, Save booth at a food pantry, I try and take recipes for that particular time frame, whether it's a spring, summer, or winter, and they have recipes on the back, and it tells you how to prepare the fruits or vegetables, or how to store them, how to, different ideas and options for them. So those are something that you could reach out to as well. Let me see, what else do we have? How many of you guys got the handouts? I want to go over a couple of these handouts with you real quick. So the one handout, we got 3 of them, I think, today. So the one handout is this little guy. And it's just a blank piece of paper with Eat, Move, Save. It's got some numbers down the side. So what we kind of want you guys to do is make a list of what's in your area. What resources for food assistance programs are in your area? What ones do you want to know more information about? Or what ones do you want to try and get signed up for? So reach out to whatever resources you have, talk with community people, see what you have available, make yourself a list. I want to make sure that you guys can get all of the resources you can. It's a tough time right now, I get it, and I want to be able to help you reach as many of those resources as you can. So I have a couple ways at the end of the program here to maybe help you do that as well. So take this sheet of paper, write down some things, write down some questions, some answers, but start off first by the title of where you want to go. Do I want to go to Catholic Charities? Do I want to go to Salvation Army? Do I want to go to Northeast Community Fund? Do I want to go to the health department? Do I want to check my school? All those kinds of things. So make a list, put it up on the fridge, put it someplace where you can make some phone calls. If you don't know any answers, if you can't find any answers, in the chat, I've included my email address and both home and cell phone and office number. Please reach out to me. I am more than willing to help you find whatever resources we need to. If we've got any questions, we'll work at it. We'll look at it together and get it accomplished. So anyway, so I just took mine and I just made some adjustment or made some list, and I made some notes on it as well. So it might be helpful if you also put, is this just food assistance, or is there clothing, or is there medical assistance with this, or housing, whatever else you might be interested in. So that might be an option for you as well. Okay. The other thing I want you to do is the other program, or the other couple handouts, were an assistance worksheet, and they kind of look like this. And what it is it's a scenario of a family and what their criteria or situation is in their household. So how many kids they have, what ages, what the husband and wife do, if they're working, what their income is, and what their usual budget for their food expense was for the month. So then what I want you to do is list in the bottom the community food assistance programs that are available in the area and how much dollars they offer. Okay. So if you're going to go to the school, then you know the school is going to offer you a lunch and a breakfast for your child. Okay, so that has a value on it. And usually I think they say they talk about roughly $40 a month. You can kind of use it as a kind of a playing tool there. So $40 a month for breakfast, $40 a month for your lunches per child. So if you have a budget of $400, you've already got $160 right there for lunches and that come off the top. You see what I'm saying? So you've got 40 for each child. If you've got 2 children, that's 80, and then for lunches and breakfast as well. So that's $160. Okay. Head Start is another program that offers free and reduced lunches within their daycare system and whatnot. So that's also, 4 days a week. You can roughly kind of look at $45 for a 4-day week period that will get them a snack and a lunch, maybe even a breakfast and a lunch or a light breakfast. So the summer programs usually is like a $30 a month for like June, July, and August, kind of roughly. WIC, remember we talked about women, infant, and children. They do usually right around like 50. And these are all give or take. These are not rock solid numbers. These are just kind of approximately what I've been able to kind of research and what's been kind of offered in the resource material that I have through this program, or through this curriculum. There's also senior meals. So let's not forget our seniors. Let's not forget their wants and needs as well. It's not only just our children, which are vitally important, but our seniors just as equally as important. Some of our seniors are struggling because their medication levels are really high. Their income is down because of, being retired. So we need to make sure we can get their assistance to them as well. And these food programs will also work for them. So what can we offer them? Their meals, as far as them, they can utilize these food pantries and those kinds of things, but they also have a Meals on Wheels. Some of your community centers will offer like a Meals on Wheels kind of thing for these seniors, and usually it's like 1 meal a day. Sometimes they'll do 2, but those are actually offered for them as well. Okay, anybody got any questions? Questions, corrections, additions, whatever it is. Okay, let's talk about our, as we do a food or a taste testing every week. Obviously, I'm not there to taste test, so you guys are all going to have to taste it and let me know how it is. But I have a fruit and dreamy dip is what it's called. Those are also in your handouts. So Alex has provided those for you. So anyway, what you're going to need is several fresh fruits, and we're going to slice them into bite-sized pieces. So apples, bananas, peaches, pears, anything like that you want to use. I think strawberries with this recipe might be, a pretty good connection too. But it's a really pretty simple. It's a cup of plain low-fat yogurt, a tablespoon of, you can either use honey or white sugar or brown sugar, whichever you prefer, whichever is readily available for you. And then a pinch of cinnamon, which is optional. This kind of gives it a little extra kick. So those are optional for you as well. You're going to still stir it all in together and stick it in the refrigerator to chill for a little bit. And then I've taken it and just kind of put the dip in another bowl in the center and then just laid fruit around it and used it for kids, coming home from school for a snack, afternoon snack. It's great to sit and hash out across the table when you're having a conversation with family or friends or whatever, just something to have. So it's a really nice little snack that is good for you with all the fruits and everything. The other thing that might weigh your options as to what fruits and stuff you want, again, we talked about in lessons past, we talked about what is readily available right now as far as keeping your budget down. You want to buy fruits and stuff that are in season. So maybe right now you wouldn't find some really fresh pears or bananas or apples. You know, they're more of a fall kind of thing, but those are certainly not anything that you couldn't have. So if you're worried about the budget, you might want to balance it out a little bit. Just take a second look at your options there. Okay, anybody got any questions about that? Let me know how you guys like that. It'd be interesting to see what other kinds of fruits are you tag along beside what we had as suggestions up there. So feel free to let me know. All right, and then our take-home tips. So community assistance program take-home tips. What kind of programs, again, you know, list what kind of programs you think you might want to try, things that might be beneficial to you, to might help curve your budget, to help ease your budget a little bit. Make a list of those and then research them and see what you can come up with. See what kind of options. And set a goal. Remember our goals down here? We set a goal. So I want you to set a goal and put a circle around one or more of the programs that you listed above that you want to continue to research or try to get involved in the coming week, and learn what the eligibility, you know, all these programs have eligibilities, requirements. So find out what they are, find out your resources and how you can work towards making those a little bit easier and get into your budget and make things better for you. So the last thing that I want to talk to you about is I told you guys that I had some resources that I'm going to get my hands on and drop off at the library on Thursday. So they'll readily be available. But there's a group that's based out of the health department, and they're called iGrow. And I've been reaching out and talking to one of those ladies, and they have this neat little accordion kind of little helpful guide, I guess, little pocket kind of guide for you. And it has tons and tons of information about not only the food resources that are out there, but what other resources are out there, period. Childcare, adult education, clothing, crisis hotlines. So those are some really good resources on there. They also have a thing called the Yellow Pages, and it is the same thing. Kind of got a glare on it. It's just a bigger version, but inside it has like Catholic Charities. Here's one. I'll just read it to you. So Catholic Charities, it gives you the address, and they have 12 programs that offered free, affordable rates for Meals on Wheels, Strong for Life, Matter of Balance, food pantries, and a resale store. So, you know, this is a really nice thing too. They have all kinds of information in here about the areas, the places that you might want to go. They give you a little bit more information, address, phone number, sometimes a contact person, an email address, a website that you can go and find out additional information, know exactly what they have to available for you, what kind of different programs, and then you can go and research them or make the phone calls and see if how the eligibility is for you as well. So that's a really good tool. So like I said, I want to try and provide you with every option that I can to get you that food assistance. So that's why I wanted to share those with you, because I think those are a really good tool to give some extra helpful hints about where some resources might be. So, and then you can always, don't forget us at Extension. We are happy to help. We can't do a food assistance, but we can certainly do the nutrition aspect of it. We can do the education aspect of it to try and educate both the youth and the adults on nutrition, preparation, food prep, recipes, all that kind of stuff. So we're certainly willing to and eager to help you do that as well. So anybody got any questions? Comments? If not, we will be back here next week for lesson 8. And that lesson will be here at the same time. And that is developing a spending plan that works for you. So again, we're going to go back to talking about what the wants and the needs are. Remember, we talked a little bit about that. What do I want? What do I need? And the difference and the importance and the impact it has on our budget and our planning. So that is next week's lesson as well. If we don't have anything else, I thank you very much for joining us today. I hope I gave you a little bit of help and insight on some ways that would help you with your budget and help you with gaining access to some food programs within your area. And like I said, please feel free to reach out and ask me any questions, or if you need any help, I will do my best to get you the answers and we'll work through it together. So thank you one and all for joining, and I will see you guys next week. Have a great rest of your week, everybody. Bye-bye.